Okay, so we are live on Facebook and we should be live now on Instagram. We're going to be here for a little bit, not too long. And this specific live that we're doing every Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern for now is going to be pretty quick, about 10 to 15 minutes long. This one specifically is going to be talking about sales advice for contractors. And you might be like, what is this dude just sitting in front of the computer all day gonna say anything about sales? Like, has he even picked up the phone ever? Has he ever sold anything? And luckily for you, I have. Luckily for you, when I was in high school, I had a bunch of jobs. I did construction jobs. I did BMO. I was there for a bit as a CSR, customer service rep or something. I also did lawn care sales. So I was in a room just calling people, random numbers. I think until 9 p.m. we were calling people in Ontario, and then 9 to 11 p.m. we were calling people in like Alberta and BC. And I was like in grade 10, 11. I also worked at Hudson's Bay in the mails department selling clothes and stuff. But where I think I got most of like my sales experience, if you will, I think was door to door sales. And so during door to door sales, it was about 2 years. I was going across Canada, knocking on doors with the company, selling people on HVAC systems and water filters. I did okay. I learned a lot, and then I didn't really like that industry after a bit. So then I started an agency where we were just helping really anybody that would take us on. And then that's how we kind of got started. And then we started focusing on dentists, real estate agents, e-commerce, and then we now are just contractors for the last few years. And what's going on, Waldy? So long story short, we just want to talk about sales. So if you guys are getting leads already, and by the way, if you've been doing your job as a contractor for 19 years, 10 years plus, even 5 years plus, you should already have some type of understanding of sales, how it works, how you call people, how you show up. So long story short, we just want to talk a little bit about sales, how you call the leads, how you keep track of your leads, so you're not just having like pen and paper or like some people do, just trying to remember who they spoke with and what stage of the sales cycle they're at. Because a lead is a lead. However, they can be at different stages of the sales cycle, if you will. Not everybody or every lead that you get is like super hot to close. So we just want to like shift that mindset that number one, you're doing these people a favor. You got to be calling these people. You're doing them a favor by reaching out to them. Because it would be unethical for you not to reach out when they opted into a Facebook form or to your website to ask for a quote. So if they're not answering a couple calls or messages, it's probably for a reason. So you want to be sure as soon as the lead comes in, make sure you're calling them at least 2 times. As soon as that happens, if they didn't answer, then you want to be texting them. A few minutes after that, then you want to send them an email. And I get it if you're like just one man team and you're on the tools, you're quoting people, and you're doing really everything, then that could be trouble for you. You're probably not going to have time to call these people right away when they come in and text them. So there might be like options for you as far as like a CRM or some automations that can help you with this, but ideally you have like yourself or an assistant reach out to them right away or some type of automation, and then once they reply, then you want to get like an actual human involved in there. What's going on, Jeff? And so, long story short, you don't want to be pushy. Obviously, no one wants to be pushy in sales. No one wants to like shove anything down anybody's throat, and that's not what you should be doing. That's gonna like if you're doing that, that's probably gonna lower your trust quite a bit, and you're probably not gonna get as many sales. So, number one, just be calm, cool, and collected. You're here to help the people. You're not there to product push. You're there to find out if you can even help them at all. So as soon as the lead comes in, make sure that you don't feel some type of way about calling them. Just pick up the phone, dial, and talk to the people. See if there's anything you can even do. Because a lot of the time, you can even help some of these people. And by the way, too, depending on the, I guess, size of the projects that you do, you're probably only looking for two, four tops maybe like five deals every single month, sometimes maybe even one that is like large. So make sure that you're always calling these people. You want to be neutral. You're not trying to push anything on people. You're not even telling them that you're the best because you don't even know what problems they're dealing with. So then that way, if you're like, hey, yeah, we're the best at that, you might be lying. So you gotta ask questions. And the best salespeople, I'm probably butchering this if Jeremy Miner ever sees this, but he talks about how the best salespeople are not product pushing, they're problem finding. They're trying to find out what problems are these people specifically dealing with and why do they even want this service in the first place. Like, for example, if you're selling like basement renovations, for example, there's probably so many reasons why somebody would want to switch out their bathroom, I mean, their basement. One could be so that they could sell it faster and easier. Another one could be so that their kids can move in because the state of the economy for some people could be trouble. So they get their kids to move in. Maybe they want to do like a in-law suite, or well, I guess that's kind of for the kids too, but in-law for their like their husbands or wife's parents, or maybe they want to rent it out. So usually there's like different reasons why people will do different things, and you just have to find out what those motivations are, and see if you can even help them, because there's again a lot of people you won't be able to help, and this will place you as a trustworthy authority, not as a salesman. Building rapport, I mean, I see a lot of contractors that are actually pretty good at this and they're really good at talking and everything. But there's this good book, it's somewhere over there. It's actually one of my favorite books. I should probably get it if I can see it. It's called Never Split the Difference. It's by Chris Voss. And that book should be really given to every kid before they finish high school. It's very good. It teaches you about not getting people into a yes train, like, oh, hey, do you like water? Yeah. Okay, do you want to buy this water filter? No, like I don't. You kind of want to say no right away. And same thing at the beginning. Like if I ask you, hey, you like water? Like, yeah, obviously I like, well, maybe you don't, but yeah, like water's important. But you almost want to say no. So that's what Chris Voss teaches is about saying no and leading with no. Like, hey, instead of saying, hey, is this a good time to talk? Or hey, do you have a minute? Like Jordan Belfort sometimes teaches people, which, it worked for him and I've tried it before and it works too. But the human brain and the human psychology, I for some reason works good to what Chris Voss is teaching people of like, hey, is this a bad time? Oh no, no, it's not a bad time. People always want to say no, so if you lead with no, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable with you, and you're actually going to be able to have an open conversation, transparent conversation to see if there's anything that you can do. Also, like mirroring people works, and it helps you understand what they actually mean. Because I could say something, and another person can say the exact same thing, and a third person, a fourth person could say the exact same thing, but all of us four, we probably mean different things. Maybe two of us mean the same thing. So let's say that I'm talking here, and then I say something, and you can just repeat the last word or the last two words that I said, like talking, and just be quiet. And then the people will start telling you what they actually mean. And then you can ask for clarification. Oh, how did you mean by that? Can you tell me more about this? And then people will feel more than glad to tell you what is actually going on, so to see if you could actually help them. You want to be asking like the right questions. Like you don't want to be asking like, oh, do you want a quote? No, you want to be like, okay, so like walk me through. What do you see, like, let's say you're doing a landscape design. What do you see actually like going over here in this corner? And do you like after that's done, do you feel like your family would actually like use the space, or is it just gonna be here to show? Like you want to get them thinking of results-based thinking of the things that you can actually do. Obviously, you don't want to get them thinking of magic stuff that will never ever happen. You want to be super realistic, and you want to find out what the actual motivation is of scheduling any time with you or having you at their property. So you want to be working on crafting better questions. Jeremy Lee Miner, I found him maybe a year or two ago, and I'm still learning. But he has some really good products, even a book. It's called The New Model of Selling. Great book, and he teaches you how to craft better questions specifically for your own industry as well. And he always says too that, let's say that you're a contractor, you're learning from him, you probably don't want to tell the other contractors about him, because that could be trouble for you. So just getting a phone call there. And yeah, you also want to be asking like, what would happen if you don't get this done? So what happens if they don't get the basement done? Is it going to like lose them money in the long run? And you gotta let them answer you, because um, their answers that come from their mouth are going to carry a lot more weight than whatever you push on them, and it's going to be truthful too, whatever they come to you with. So you want to ask them like consequence questions. What happens if you don't get the bathroom done or the basement done? Maybe nothing happens and they're just kind of like wanting it. But if it's a need, oh, the pipe's broken and then the whole wall's gonna rupture, and then mold's gonna appear, and then I'm gonna have to regut the whole upstairs bathroom and kitchen and everything. So it's gonna lead into a bigger problem. So instead of you pushing that onto them, you want to educate them enough so that they can make their own decisions, and that's going to hold a lot more weight. And by the time you leave that property, it's probably going to be a deal for you if obviously you are charging something that is fair, because a lot of the time also comes down to pricing. But if you can hold more value and show more value, then you're likely going to be able to get that deal. And you also want to be framing your offers in the negotiation. So, like, if someone's asking you for a ballpark, you could be like, well, and you guys probably already do this, but typically these projects can cost anywhere from X to Y. But because we focus on efficiency and this is like our bread and butter, we're able to do it at this much for you, um, because you're also doing this and that. And so this positions your pricing as reasonable, and you're actually emphasizing like what you actually bring to the table, the value that you bring up to the table. So long story short, don't want to take up too much of you guys' time going to another appointment. Maybe you're going out booking uh, more jobs right now, or maybe you're just going back home to your family. Long story short, if you ever have any questions about sales or about advertising, just let us know. We have a couple things that we might be able to help you with. If we don't do it for you, we might be able to teach you so you guys can do it. And we also have a lot of YouTube videos that might be able to help you. But just to recap, just make sure that you're neutral. Don't be a product pusher or a service pusher. Make sure that these people actually are needing what you want. And I would maybe even look up NEPQ, Jeremy Minor, look at the 7-step process. And these are mainly questions that, number one, help you understand what is actually going on in their prospect's mind and situation, and how you could actually help them. Because there's, again, a lot of people that you won't be able to help. So make sure that you're always offering value. Chris Voss, that's a book that, Never Split the Difference, a book that should be taught in high school. It should be mandatory before you leave high school. And encourage taking action. So, like, the next time that you speak with a prospect, make sure that you're playing around with this and asking the right questions, playing with your tonality. Sometimes you want to sound confused, and sometimes you want to be a little bit challenging, and sometimes you want to act like um, a little bit confused, as I said. Like uh, maybe you walk into a gas station, and then you're like, "Hey, I was wondering if someone could help me out for a moment." Yeah, sure. How can I help you? Oh, I'm not too sure you could help yet, though, but I was wondering if X, Y, or Z. Or let's say that you guys have a bunch of leads. I'll leave off with this. Let's say that you have like 20, 30 leads that you've gotten over the past or this summer, for example. And you've called some of them, but then it's been some time now, and you don't know if they found what they're looking for, or if they still are looking for you. So what you could do is you can call on them and be like, "Hey, this is just George calling with XYZ company. It looks like," and you might shuffle some papers, like it's a real call. It looks like you opted in onto Facebook or Google. It looks like you were looking for like a basement renovation around like 50 to 150,000 that you were looking to spend here, and it says that you were looking to do this in the next couple months. I just had a moment to get back with you. Are you still like looking for help to get the basement done, or have you found what you're looking for, Shelly? And then you just let them let you know if they're still looking or if they found something, and then you can get into the conversation. So you see how it doesn't have to be pushy. You're actually there to see if you can provide some sort of value and to see if you can actually help them. So hopefully this was helpful. I appreciate you guys that were here, Waldy um, or Jeff. And yeah, just if you guys have any questions, drop them on here. um, Waldy, we'll see you guys soon, and we're working on your accounts. Anybody else? Let us know any questions in the chat, or just let us know through the comments. And next week we'll talk about a different topic. We're trying to do this every Tuesday around 6:30 Eastern. We might bring it to about 6 p.m. We'll see how we do. And long story short, hopefully this helped you, and we'll talk soon. Bye.